What's good, YouTube, and welcome to the house. I've been slower on the market watches because it's that nice winter cool-off where the prices get nice and chilly and just continuously sink down. So there's not much to say for the most part outside of OCG announcements and their impact on the market that everything's nicely going down. And I'll show you a bit of that throughout this market watch. But it's the final day of a sale, a 3% kickback on TCG Player on all singles. So if that's where you usually shop, you get a nice little niche of store credit, I believe. I think that kickback is in store credit for TCG Player, where you can then spend it later. I think that's really smart of TCG Player. They're basically incentivizing, you're gonna get some, not a lot, but it gets you to come back here and spend some more money on our website. That's pretty cool of them. And today we do have that OCG impact I talked about. Market watch, more like wind up watch. Am I right? Just me, I'll go ahead and leave. But wind up wrap is insanely bought out. People are speculating on combos for both the TCG and OCG. It's a little different since we have wind up hunter, they don't. They have Zen Mighty, we don't. And Rat's price is at $16 lowest right now. Now, I don't think this is justified. I don't think this will stay there, and I don't think this deck is going to be as good as people remember it being. They kind of have the member berries on this deck. Remember when windups were good? I remember when windups were good. I remember topping with windups. That kind of thing going around. And we see over here, this is 10, it doesn't even say it's mint, doesn't have a picture before 20. Pretty much all the copies are out that are near mint, although we do actually have unlimited super rare near mint 250. So there is just this one, I guess, if you want to go snipe it. But outside of that, it doesn't look like there's really any near mint. So there is one, you know, but I don't think this will be the best deck. I think when you're looking at windups, you think about their old days and what they did for that format, but when windups get stopped, and we have so many hand traps now, so many interruptions, that they really don't have much defense going for them, and that'll be a crucial part. Even if you're trying to make it some kind of wacky engine in the meta, I don't think it'll go past regional tops, is what I'm saying here, unless something drastic happens to hand traps, unless something drastic happens to our power creeped back row that we've been receiving and the other many decks before it. The Link Monster, I just feel, doesn't do enough to add the consistency to windups that we would like there. Now, other windups to note, Windup Shark is kind of peaking a little bit, but there's so many copies that it's hard. You know, on TCG Player, you have to hit $2 in sales in order to buy from a seller, I believe. So a lot of these are just going to stay there because there's so many Windup Sharks, period. And Zen Mighty actually has moved as well. We see $5 lowest near mint unlimited, $7 lowest first ed. The norm being $3.14 now. It fell back down over time after that. Well, first hype, OCG got it. We'll get it one day. One day, right? No, we're not getting it. So people are kind of speculating that with a Link Monster, maybe, just maybe, we'll see Zen Mighty come over here. Who knows? I wouldn't speculate too hard on it. If we're getting future support, it would be nice to see something happen with it. But at the same time, just talking more about the consistency of the deck, we don't have Zen Mighty currently, and banking on it coming is something I wouldn't do until it's announced. I mean, you're basically gambling that Konami's gonna do something for you and your deck. We see it at $449, $466 from Jobber. Always nice to see Jobber as one of the lowest listings on eBay. I would give the 15 extra cents to Jobber. He supports so much in the community. And then we just see it quickly increase from there as well. Again, the spike is somewhat superficial. People are just kind of grabbing it in case while it's cheap, and if you couldn't grab it while it's cheap, I don't think there's much of a point to, and you'll probably see a lot of these prices trickle back down. Even if they go up from here, they'll start to trickle back down as the hype kind of dies for it. The ultra rare I don't think moved much at all, if I'm not mistaken. 77 cents, 78 cents. There's sellers where you could get 3 for 80 cents. So if you really think it's coming back, it's actually still under its market price for the ultra rare. Wind Up Rabbit Secret did budge up a little. 245 lowest for the Unlims and the First Eds. Where are you at, First Eds? This has been a card people always like to pick up. It actually got hyped, if you remember, because of Psyframes for a bit. $4 here for a First Ed still. It's a good collector's card. You can play past formats with it. Having windups for past formats, that's cool. But I still don't think it'll be smashing through the meta. And I can be wrong there. If you think otherwise, please, in the comment section down below, tell me why you think it will be meta. Windup Factory's always been kind of an expensive common. It's always kind of, you know, demanded that dollar market price from an Astral pack, right? No Turbo pack. Turbo pack 8. So right before the AP packs. But the Super is still sitting under $2 for when I checked it. Wind Up Arsenals in Mayo is $6. I don't think the deck really abuses it too much. But it's always been kind of a pricier secret rare, and this is one of its lower points. It kind of depends on your opponent having set cards, and a lot of people aren't setting cards right now. Wind Up Hunter, still at its ridiculously low price. They're sellers where you could actually, like Super Games Inc., I was looking here, they have 9 copies. You could actually order all 9 from them and get them shipped to basically make them waste a stamp. But if you have confidence in the TCG versions, maybe you want Wind Up Hunters. Maybe you want to try to snipe their hand over and over. I don't know what you're trying to do with the deck in the TCG, but I'm sure there's ways to explore and play it. I just don't think that it has a consistent backup like other decks do. It doesn't have a plan for when you get hand trapped, and maybe it'll evolve to that point, but I don't think currently that it does. I always like to take the front page of TCG Player when it changed and talk about it with you guys. Pot of Desires, last I glanced at it, it was $2. I actually haven't kept up with the Ultra, and it is now around the $3 mark solidly, and I believe when it first got featured on TCG Player, it was at the 3 minimum, and it's crept up a couple cents, which happens whenever it's featured. It's still cheaper on eBay at $2.95, but we saw over time that people would want to buy playsets, and this would creep up. Eventually, this is going to be a $5 card. If it doesn't receive a reprint in a structure deck, it'll be a $5 card. Like, remember Super Desires and how demanded it got till it got its common reprint? Desires will be similar over time. Did I say Desires? I said Pot of Duality had its Super reprint in the 10s, if I misspoke. And back in the day, it went from a $125 card down to being a Super reprint, started to trend back up. I think it was like a $7 plus card for a bit, and then it got its common reprint. So I think Pot of Desires realistically will be a $5 card over time. And if you don't have a set, stop saying neg 9. Stop saying like you don't want to play Pot of Desires in any deck. Like, just have your set, try it out for yourself. If you get angry, it's $9 that you lost. I hate drawing Desires with Desires too, trust me, but it's a necessary evil for consistency's sake if you're trying to top tournaments. Something I noticed from Maximum Crisis is 2 of the top best-selling cards are very interesting to me. Zephyr Providence and Zephyrath. While their price hasn't gone anywhere and there's a huge quantity available, being the best-selling 2 out of 3 of the top cards being the Zephyr cards, these are very good cards, and I might consider getting them a set of each now for yourself, if not like that rule of 9, a set for yourself, a set to trade, and a set to sell, as VCTRFS says. That's a decent philosophy if you're not trying to go too heavy into investing and trading. It's good to get things while they're cheap, and having each while they're super cheap wouldn't be bad, but I don't see them going anywhere soon. It's just super interesting that these 2 cards are the best selling out of Maximum Crisis. And actually on the front page, I'm surprised this is on the front page, is Ash Blossom and Joyous Spring. Usually you would think people would go try to find these in person for a little bit of a deal, but they are still flying off the shelf. 33 available, lowest is for an Unlim is 34 from Pro Play Games. Hey, get him, George. But it's really just interesting to always look at the best-selling. Diagram is actually a little bit up versus its market price, $750 or $27.50, 28 versus 26. I found that interesting as well. Maybe those Samurai players are finally grabbing their diagrams. I don't know what deck is focusing on it on the meta, because we don't see too many pure true Draco decks being played around. But it seems like people are thinking this one's not going to get hit on the ban list again. A ban list is coming up, and I think I'd like to keep diagrams for now. They're not going to get hit. You never know what Konami's gonna do, but it certainly isn't doing too much in the meta. One other thing to note is, I was talking about that cooldown. Spellbook of Knowledge is all the way down to $11 lowest now, one seller, 0 Hour Games. That's the lowest I think I've ever seen it on TCG Player, period. Nice to see it hit that point during the cooldown. Other cards, actually, Ningirsu is a little bit up versus market price. People keep putting it in Link decks. The Ignister of Links. I know I trigger one person every time in my comment section I say that. But your non-targeting awesome removal for Link monsters, I like it a lot. And Solemn Strike, I think, is still holding exactly where it was, unfortunately. I was hoping it was going to go down for you guys, but, you know, the counter parry structure deck's coming out. I'm sure even more people than ever will be wanting to grab strikes real quick for that. And the thing I really like, I expected Pendulum Evolution to go up because of Heavy Metal Foes, Electromite, and it's just chilling, staying where it is. You can actually still get everything even cheaper than market price right now, and I think that's pretty dang awesome. Everything's kind of just still chill. Astrograph Sorcerer for under $2. This is actually a generic hand trap card. You could play this in many decks for your resource game. It's heavily underrated, and I just really like that it's actually chilled out here. You can grab pretty much everything you would want for it at a decently cheap price. So don't stall out on Pendulum Magicians either. Maybe the perfect gift for one of your friends. I certainly don't have any boxes I'm trying to sell. I seriously don't. I find it really funny when people accuse me of selling cards still. You can actually go look at my feedback on eBay and see the kind of items I've been selling, and I just think it's hilarious. Actually, why don't we just go take a look at that? 1 second. Just for you guys, my eBay selling. I have a decent amount of sales, but what are they? Well, if we go over to active listings, this is actually really funny. It wants my password, boys. I don't think it'll show it. I don't want to have to redo my market watch. But all right, yeah, you know how many characters are in it. But I'm selling Hello Kitty stuff, a Godzilla DVD, and a Funko Pop. I'm really out here trying to move these Yu-Gi-Oh boxes. When I took up Market Watch a while back and I saw the effects it could have, I stopped buying and selling cards personally. My buddy is a shield. If you want to follow me on eBay, I have a decent amount of feedback. Maybe you can find something cute for your girlfriend for this holiday season. That's my only plug for myself today. Find yourself a cute golden Hello Kitty at cheaper than you would get it out in the stores. So thanks for watching, everybody. Hopefully you enjoyed today's Market Watch, and lineup's going a bit crazy. Am I being too harsh on it? Is there more viability than what I'm saying with all the hand traps lurking around?